Hello, this is Mark Warren, and today I'm doing an off-skate training video. So I want to talk about building your leg strength to get strong legs and knees, as well as getting flexibility in your ankles. The more flexible you actually are in your ankles, the less pressure you put in your knees, and having strong knees will help keep these from going out on you. So last year, after I got back from nationals, I had pushed myself so hard. The competition year that I had, it was tough. Every day I would get up, my knees would hurt. I'd go to the rink, I'd push through, my knees would hurt. By the time I got back from nationals last year, I couldn't even walk up and down stairs. So I did some research on rehabbing knees and how to get your knee strength back, how to fix patellar tendonitis, which was a big issue that I had and a lot of skaters have. And I found out some things to make your legs strong. Now I don't have any knee issues at all. I can go and do 2 hours of practice, come home, my knees feel fine. I wake up the next morning, they're fine, as long as I'm continually doing my knee strengthening training and getting that flexibility in the ankle. So I'm going to show you exactly what I do and how it works out. Now, you don't need any fancy equipment to do this. All you need is a slant board, maybe a stick or a roller if you have one, that helps. The slant board's at a 30-degree angle. As you can see, I made one myself. It's just a piece of wood, and I have an old pull-up bar, but you can use anything to prop up a board or a plank for this to work. It doesn't take a lot of fancy equipment. They actually say you can do more damage to your knees by lifting with weights, so you don't even need any weight. So no leg presses, no machines, no squats with weights on your back or anything like that. You don't need it to get leg strength. All you need are these things right here. So what I want to do is start by talking about flexibility in your ankles. Having flexibility in your ankles actually takes pressure off your knees. Now, I've heard them say, don't let your knees bend past your toe. Well, actually, some of the better jumpers in basketball have so much flexibility in their ankles and knees that their knees flex past their toe. It allows them to jump higher and a lot stronger. So it takes, again, that pressure off the knee by having flexibility down here. Getting these strong will also take pressure off the knee. And also by getting these strong, you can build up tendons as well underneath your knee. These are the patellar tendons. So I had patellar tendonitis. I was basically damaging them so much by jumping all the time on them that I had to find ways to re-strengthen these and get these tendons to reconnect the way they needed to be. So I'm going to show you my exercise routine that I do. I do this 4 to 5 times a day, 4 to 5 times a week. Usually take off usually on the weekends from doing any leg strengthening, but I'm pretty much doing these exercises almost every day to keep my legs strong, keep my ankles flexible. So the first thing that I do is I roll out these tibia muscles. So the muscles right beside your shin bone. So your shin bone's about here. You want to take your roller, a couple of minutes, just roll these out. What it's going to do is start lengthening these muscles so they get stretched out. The more these get lengthened out, the easier it is to flex here. The reason why most people can't bend their ankle or bend at their ankle past their knee is because this muscle's tight, calf muscle's tight, and down here by the heel is tight. So this will help lengthen those muscles. You want to do this for a couple of minutes on each foot. Do the front right beside the shin, not directly on the shin, not on the bone. You want all the muscle here. That's where you want to work on. You can do this with some type of roller like this. You can get a stick, whatever it takes, a broomstick or something, just to roll on these muscles. It doesn't take any fancy equipment to do it. Again, get back here also around the ankle will help loosen up some of that muscle as well. And you can work the calf too. So the first thing is to get these muscles to loosen up so they can release and you can stretch them out. Do both sides for a couple of minutes. Now granted, I'm not going to do it that long for the entire video, but I just want to show you what we do. So that's step one. Now let's talk about stretching out the ankles and getting that flexibility in those ankles. Now, for stretching out the ankles after you've rolled your legs out, you want to get one foot, starting off, I'm going to say about 2 inches away from the wall. And really, in actuality, since there's molding here on the actual floor or against the wall, then it's probably about closer to 3, because that's about 1 inch thick molding. You want to get about 2 inches. You're going to keep your heel down. Make your knee touch the wall. After you get good with that and it doesn't hurt or anything anymore, get about 3 inches away from the wall. Make your knee touch the wall. And you're going to hold this for maybe 10, 20, 30 seconds at a time. Go back, and then you're going to do it again. So your goal is to start getting to where you can be like 4 to 5 inches away from the wall, maybe even more than that. So right now that's at 4. I'm still keeping my heel down. Now I'm coming back to about 5. Still keeping the heel down. That's a big stretch for me. But that's about as far as this foot's going right now. 5 is about where I start. 5.5 is about where I start lifting on this foot. Then you're going to switch feet and do the same thing on the other side. Start at 2 inches. It's going to take you a few weeks to get used to that. Come back to around 3. Get used to that. Right now, this foot for me is about 5.5, 6 inches away from the wall that I can actually push, touch the ground without having that heel lift up. I got a lot of stretch going on here through this heel, and I have a lot of stretch coming out here, so this makes it very flexible for these ankles. So that will be step number 1, getting ankle flexibility. After you get your ankle stretched out, you're going to stretch out these back calf muscles. So that's the next stage. I usually take the slant bar board and I stand. I'm not going to do calf raises or anything like that. I don't need to do that. I just need to hold these down, and I'm angled a little bit away, but I want to try to push my shoulders in towards the wall and keep my heels down. Again, that's going to help stretch out these back leg muscles that are tight. So the more that you can do these and get closer to the wall, it's going to stretch out those lower calf, mid calf areas. All through here, all the way down. So you want to hold these for about 20, 30 seconds at a time. Take a break, come back, do it again. And again, that's all going to help with that ankle flexidorsion. So that's going to be your ankle flexibility. Now comes the fun part. So for squats, this is where you're going to build all your leg strength. If you have existing knee issues, it can rebuild these tendons here because they get torn and break down, and you need to rebuild those fibers and those tendons to make them stronger. So what you're going to do, you're going to get on the slant board, and as you can see, I don't even have to come up all the way on the board. I have my feet off still. This is kind of like almost similar to the angle of how your skate boot is with the heel on it. So you want to basically put your feet up on it. You're going to squat straight down. You want to keep your shoulders as straight as possible on this. You don't want to bend forward or anything like this and then try to do the squat. Now you want to keep everything as straight as possible. On this one, you do not want to you want to try to make sure that your knees don't go too far past your toes to do the squat. You want to keep them as straight as you can. And you're going to go slow down, faster up. So we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up. And do a slow count down and then up, keeping your shoulders and everything straight. If you have a hard time keeping your balance and keeping straight, get a pole or a stick or something of the sort so you can use it for balance. And go down, and then straight up. I'm not letting this lean forward or letting me lean forward. I'm not doing this. Now, you want straight down. Okay, try to keep those knees behind the toe, and then up. So that's going to be a really controlled down and up. After you get used to that and your knees are starting to get stronger, you're going to probably do that for a couple of weeks. Start off with 3 sets of 5, then go to 3 sets of 10, then 3 sets of 15. I guarantee you if you first start doing this, after about 3 or 4 of these going slow down, you're going to feel it burning in these legs. So it's going to take you a while to build up to that point. After you get built up to that point, take one foot, put it a little ways back so you're taking weight off of this one, and you're going to use one leg at a time. This will start building more muscle strength in one leg. You're going to do that 3 sets of 10, or 3 sets of 5 to start off with. Switch feet, do the other side. Slow down. Fast up. You can use both feet to help you up because it's hard to stand up on one leg, even if you've been doing this for a while. So slow down. Fast up. If your knees start to hurt too much doing this, take a step back. Don't do any more. Take a couple of days off. Come back. Do it again slow. You want to build up to this slowly. You don't want to do it fast, thinking you're going to get it overnight. It's taken me probably 4 or 5 months to be able to get to the point where I can do this consistently without my knees hurting. So it took a while for me to even get here. So, you're already losing my breath and getting winded here. After you've gotten used to all of this and you've been doing it for a while, you should be able to do this one leg at a time, no assistance from this foot. I'm going to warn you now, don't even attempt to try this if you haven't been doing squats for months before, because it will blow out your knee. And I've done that before. I was like, oh, I can do that. I can do sit spins all day. It's not the same. I can do sit spins all day, but I didn't have the strength to do it one leg on its own by itself until I built up my legs. So don't even attempt to do this until you get 4 or 5 months in and you know your legs are strong enough to handle it. But you're going to do one foot out. You're going to go straight down. Bring it in, come back up. This foot is really good for me now. My left, the right is still a little work in progress. But straight down, control down, come up. So again, that will really tighten up your legs, tighten up these patella muscles, the tendons, not so much muscles as tendons. You need to rebuild those connective tissues if you've broken them down, and you'll be good to go. Now doing these on the slant board, again, it's going to give you more ankle flexibility. After a while, you should be able to stand about shoulder width apart, and you can start doing things like this without any assistance from a slant. Now, I couldn't even do this a year ago. This is, some people call it an Asian squat. I couldn't even do this squat a year ago, but now it allows me to keep my balance. I can flex these ankles forward so I don't fall back and fall over. So this again, having all this flexibility ankle-wise, the tibia, the knees, it's going to take pressure off the knees, and that way you won't have issues when you're doing jumps, spins, things like that. Whew, I'm out of breath. As you can see, you got me working hard this morning. But I pretty much do these exercises again 4 to 5 times a week. Even if you don't do freestyle or spins or anything like that, jumps and spins, they can still be beneficial for you. My wife, she only skates figures and dance, and she does them 4 times a week. Some of these same exercises here, building up these core leg muscles, the ankle flexibility. It really helps with being able to jump higher, jump harder. It will help with those landings so you're not blowing out your knees. Your knees will feel better. I have no issue skating 2 to 3 hours, at least 3 times a week, freestyle, jumping on them for probably, a couple times each time going out. There's no issues at all the next day when I wake up in the morning. My knees don't hurt. Now, yes, I get muscle fatigue and things like that. I'm tired. At the end of a long practice session, my legs are tired, but that's just because they've been working, and they've been working for a couple hours straight. The next morning I get up, I don't have the aches and the pains in the knee. I can still walk up and down stairs fine. Yeah, there might be a little muscle soreness, but my knees don't hurt all the time, and that's the key. You've got to build core and get flexibility. That's the difference. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in comments below, and stay tuned. We'll have more skating videos coming at you soon.